In a world where the surface so often deceives, whispers of shadowy power structures and ancient influences weave an intricate web just out of sight. These unseen forces shape history, mold culture, and steer society in ways that few dare to question. What lies behind the veil of everyday life? What truths are hidden beneath the narrative we've been told? Today, we venture into the hidden connections between institutions, symbols, and ideologies that quietly manipulate humanity from the shadows. The deeper we look, the more unsettling the truths become, challenging us to rethink everything we thought we understood. Hold on tight as we peel back the layers and reveal the forces shaping our world. This is a journey into the depths of the unseen. The Jesuits were already a formidable political and religious force, well before the founding of the United States in 1776. Though their primary mission focused on education and missionary work, their activities often intersected with the political affairs of Europe and the Americas, creating a legacy that would subtly shape the context of the emerging nation. Their influence in the Americas began as early as the 16th century, long before the American Revolution. These missions not only aimed to spread Catholicism, but also sought to strengthen ties between the colonies and Catholic monarchs, like those of France and Spain. This alignment of religious and political interests cemented the Jesuits' role as key players in the colonial era. In Maryland, the Jesuits established missions, schools, and churches, fostering a vibrant Catholic presence. Yet their influence extended beyond religion, as they engaged in land acquisitions and economic enterprises, often clashing with local governments and Protestant settlers. By the mid-18th century, the Jesuits' growing influence began to alarm European monarchs, who viewed them as a political threat. In 1773, under intense pressure from Catholic rulers, Pope Clement XIV officially suppressed the Jesuit order. Their properties were confiscated, and members were forced to disband or operate in secrecy. Yet even in suppression, the Jesuits remained influential. Many aligned themselves with European powers like France and Spain, whose support for the American Revolution played a critical role in securing independence. Jesuit-trained individuals contributed to diplomatic and military efforts, further embedding their legacy in the founding of the United States. Adam Weishaupt, philosopher and rebel, is one of history's most enigmatic figures. Born in Bavaria, Germany, in 1748, Weishaupt's intellectual roots were shaped by the rigorous teachings of the Jesuits. Yet, it was this very foundation that he would later reject, setting him on a path to establish a secret society that challenged the dominant powers of his time. Raised in a devout Catholic family, Weishaupt's education was entrusted to Jesuit priests, whose discipline, intellectual precision, and methodical worldview that shaped his early development. The structured critical thinking instilled in him by the Jesuits became a cornerstone of his intellectual abilities, but it also planted the seeds of his eventual rebellion against their teachings. In 1776, Adam Weishaupt founded the Order of the Illuminati in Germany. With a mission to promote Enlightenment ideals of rationalism, secularism, and personal liberty, the Illuminati sought to dismantle the power of religious institutions and monarchies. Weishaupt's vision was a society free from the control of church and state, an egalitarian world driven by reason and justice. While Weishaupt's Illuminati became a symbol of the Enlightenment rebellion against traditional power, the Jesuits themselves evolved, finding new ways to influence society. Over centuries, the Jesuits expanded their impact beyond education and missionary work, embedding themselves in the arts, media, and culture. Their ability to adapt to changing times has made them one of the most culturally influential institutions in history. Jesuit-educated individuals have played key roles in shaping modern media, particularly in film, music, and journalism. Institutions like Georgetown University and Loyola Marymount University have trained countless graduates who carry Jesuit values into the entertainment industry. The Jesuits have long understood the power of communication to influence minds. Dating back to the printing press, they used publications to spread their message. Today, their legacy lives on in platforms like America Magazine and the countless journalists, producers, and media executives shaped by Jesuit education, who bring their perspectives to mainstream media. Today, the Pope is the supreme authority in the Roman Catholic Church, holding spiritual and administrative control over all Catholic institutions, including the Jesuit order. The Superior General of the Jesuit order, often called the Black Pope, leads the Jesuits, one of the largest and most influential Catholic orders. This dynamic has taken on a new dimension with the election of Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope in history. As a member of the very order often associated with behind-the-scenes influence, his leadership marks a unique moment in the relationship between the papacy and the Jesuits, blending their missionary zeal with the global reach of the papal office. The Jesuits and the elite are often regarded as the shadow government, wielding covert influence over global affairs. They hold significant economic power, symbolized by Wall Street, where the bull stands as an emblem of their force and dominance. Intriguingly, this bull connects to ancient symbolism tied to power and divinity. For over 2 centuries, the Vatican has operated from the United States, extending its influence beyond its traditional base in Rome. Historically, when Rome lost its unified grip on power, due to challenges from the Anglicans, Greece, Turkey, and Ethiopia, the Jesuit order was established as a strategic response. Its mission was to reclaim and consolidate the power of the Roman Empire. In modern times, while the Vatican's headquarters remain in Rome, its reach extends globally, with the USA emerging as the de facto leader of this extended network. As the Illuminati began to exert global influence, the Vatican appears to have split into factions, one controlling Europe and the other anchored in the USA. This division may even frame significant historical events, such as the American War of Independence, which symbolized a shift in global power dynamics. This perspective casts new light on interpretations of the beast in Revelation 17. Some suggest that it refers not to the Roman Catholic Church headquartered in Rome, but rather to the USA, a nation often seen as an extension of Vatican influence operating from the shadows. New York City, a global hub of commerce, culture, and power. But could this towering metropolis, known as the city that never sleeps, harbor deeper, darker secrets? Could it be the modern embodiment of ancient Babylon, as described in Revelation 18 verse 2? Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Symbols of power and prosperity dominate the city's landscape, but their origins may tell a different story. The Rockefeller Center's Prometheus, the charging bull of Wall Street, and the Statue of Liberty are all linked to the same god. The Statue of Liberty's iconic solar crown, with its 7 rays, symbolizes the 7 continents of the world, a representation of unity and global reach. However, its design also draws from the ancient Roman solar crown, a symbol of the sun, and the false god Liber, from whom the concept of liberty derives its name. Liber, known to the Greeks as Dionysus and to the Romans as Bacchus, embodies themes of wine, freedom, and transformation. Yet, in Christian tradition, Liber is identified as Lucifer, the light bringer. This connection unveils the enduring influence of this deceptive power, subtly leading humanity under the guise of enlightenment and liberation. The figure of Bacchus, or Liber, is the god of indulgence, nature, and rebellion. His influence can be seen in the media, film, and even politics, shaping a culture that celebrates pride and self-indulgence while normalizing moral decay. Bacchus is also a symbol of male fertility, represented by the phallus, an ancient emblem of generative power. This symbol can be seen prominently in structures such as the obelisks outside the Vatican, Washington, D.C., Paris, and London, linking his legacy to centers of global influence. But what transformation does he truly bring? Could the essence of Bacchus be subtly infused into society, controlling humanity under the pretense of freedom? Even the crowns of royalty trace their design back to the ancient solar crown, further connecting modern symbols of power to their origins in idolatry. These crowns, like the Statue of Liberties, are rooted in the same solar imagery tied to Liber and his many titles, reinforcing the link between ancient rebellion and contemporary authority. The Statue of Liberty, celebrated as a beacon of freedom, holds a deeper meaning. Its torch mirrors the fire brought by Prometheus, the same fire described in Revelation 13 verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Is this fire a symbol of enlightenment, or the ultimate deception? The overlapping identities of Liber, Bacchus, Prometheus, Dionysus, and Lucifer reveal a pattern stretching from ancient times to the present day. Some believe the influence of these ancient deities endures through the lineage of the Nephilim, being said to be born of fallen angels and human women. Europa, famously abducted by Jupiter, symbolized as a bull, is thought to have become the first queen of Crete and the mother of 3 children, often interpreted in post-flood accounts as Nephilim. She is referred to as the mother of the gods, or more accurately, the demigods. Her lineage is said to run through the Greek royal bloodline, which connects to many prominent European royal families, including the House of Windsor. This connection is believed to perpetuate a hidden hierarchy of power that continues to shape the modern world. New York City is the new Babylon, a city of towering ambition, moral decay, and spiritual rebellion. As Revelation foretells, the angel will cast a great millstone into the sea, symbolizing Babylon's destruction. But is this prophecy already unfolding before our eyes? What truly lies behind the torch of enlightenment and the symbols of freedom? Are they guiding us toward truth? Or are they leading us deeper into darkness? In Revelation 13 verse 1, we encounter a striking image. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns. This description has fascinated and perplexed readers for centuries. The dragon, a symbol of ultimate rebellion and spiritual deception, is depicted with 7 heads and 10 horns. But what do these represent? The 10 horns, adorned with crowns, symbolize power and authority, kingdoms or rulers aligned with the dragon's agenda. Meanwhile, the 7 heads, bearing the crowns, reveal something even more profound. These heads represent his offspring, the demigods, the so-called Nephilim or fallen hybrids born of ancient rebellion. They are believed by some to be the ruling forces that exert influence over the 7 continents, shaping human destiny from the shadows. This imagery is not just about the dragon's might, it speaks to a hidden hierarchy of power. These crowned heads suggest dominion, each one ruling over a domain, perpetuating control across the globe. Could these be the forces behind the unseen systems that govern nations, economies, and cultures? The dragon's offspring, in this interpretation, are far from mere myths, they are beings intricately tied to the manipulation and control of humanity. Their crowns serve as chilling symbols of authority wielded not for liberation, but as tools of oppression and deceit. Their power stems from the very knowledge offered by the tree in the Garden of Eden, the forbidden fruit that promised Eve she could become like God. This ancient deception continues to echo through time, now veiled in the guise of progress and enlightenment, yet secretly orchestrating humanity's destruction. Everywhere we turn, the signs of this manipulation are evident. The rise of New Age spirituality, with its focus on self-deification, distracts us from the truth of our divine creator. Artificial intelligence promises a utopian future while eroding human autonomy. Wars sow chaos and division, paving the way for centralized control. The woke ideology, under the pretense of love and acceptance, fosters division and silences dissent, unraveling the moral and spiritual fabric of society. Even those who believe they are in touch with alien beings, through channeling, may be engaging with Lucifer's legion, entities that lead us further from God's truth. This web of deception spans every aspect of life, subtly steering humanity away from our Creator and deeper into darkness. What seems like progress is, in truth, a continuation of the dragon's ancient plan to sever us from divine grace and enslave us under the illusion of enlightenment. Since the dawn of civilization, unseen forces have guided the rise and fall of empires, shaping history from the shadows. These dark powers, working behind the veil, have directed leaders and influenced nations, steering humanity toward their own agenda. The Bible uses vivid imagery to describe these dominating forces, beasts like the goat, ram, lion, leopard, and bear, each symbolizing kingdoms that rose to power, consumed by the same spirit of control and conquest. These beasts represent more than just nations, they are the systems and empires that have ruled over humanity, imposing their will on the world stage. But their influence didn't end with the fall of ancient kingdoms. Through shadowy organizations and secret alliances, such as the Illuminati and its countless branches like the Jesuits, the Vatican, the United Nations, World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, Freemasonry, and royalty, these powers continue their work in modern times. From the corridors of power to the structures of society, they weave an intricate web of control, reaching every corner of the globe. Throughout history, Bacchus, the god of revelry and the disruption of social order, has been known by many names, as the devil often cloaks himself in different guises. Yet, his influence remains unmistakable. Today, the ancient legacy of Bacchus thrives, as the dismantling of societal norms accelerates across the globe, unleashing unprecedented chaos and upheaval. One glaring example of this disruption is the growing confusion around gender identity, where men increasingly present as women, and women as men. While often framed as personal choice, this phenomenon reflects a much larger societal shift, a symptom of spiritual and moral decay that reaches far deeper than the surface. But this is only part of a larger agenda, a deliberate effort to destabilize the current world order. Economically, politically, and socially, the cracks are widening. There is a growing belief that the collapse of major currencies like the dollar and the euro is being engineered through war, famine, and crises. This collapse would pave the way for a global digital currency designed to centralize power, control humanity, and reduce individuals to monitored and dictated lives. This transformation is visible in the rise of what many call woke ideology. While presented as a movement of love and acceptance, it often fosters division and hostility. Refusing to conform to its rules, such as rejecting the notion that biological men can become women, invites accusations of bigotry. Dissenters are vilified, shamed, and silenced as society continues to unravel. In this context, Lucifer, the ancient symbol of revelry and chaos, takes on a new form. His legacy of breaking boundaries and upending normality is now manifesting on a massive scale, driving the global transformation we see today. His influence detaches society from its foundations, priming it for exploitation by those who seek ultimate control. Revelation 18 unveils a chilling vision of Babylon the Great, a corrupt world system built on spiritual decay and defiance of God. This system, steeped in wealth and influence, achieved its dominance not through righteousness, but through alliances with dark powers and satanic deception. As verse 23 warns, For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. This is no mere metaphor. The Greek word pharmakeia, translated as sorceries, suggests the use of enchantments, manipulations, and even substances to control minds and corrupt spirits. Babylon's rise to power was orchestrated through rebellion and occult practices, mirroring Satan's temptation, where he offers the kingdoms of the world in exchange for worship. We are witnessing manipulation on an unprecedented scale. From societal confusion to outright rebellion against natural order, humanity is being guided toward its own destruction. Men choosing to remove their genitals, women transforming into men, these are not isolated choices but symptoms of a deeper agenda. Could this be the work of Satan's offspring, the hidden rulers who seek to diminish the human race and enslave us completely? By destabilizing society, they reduce our numbers, weaken our resolve, and prepare us for a system of absolute control, body and soul. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. These words remind us of Babylon's reach and the cost of its prosperity, achieved through alliances with dark forces and the manipulation of entire nations. Babylon's fall serves as both a warning and a promise that no system built on rebellion, deception, and darkness will endure in the face of God's truth and justice. Revelation 18 is not just a prophecy, it is a call to vigilance. As we witness the unraveling of society, the rise of rebellion, and the deception of nations, we must ask the question: are we aligning with truth, or falling prey to the darkness that seeks to enslave us all?